Uh, Good morning, everyone. My name is Khaya Hadebe, and I am doing my third year at Etude campus. I am a student teacher, and I've come to the phrase that I went to do my teaching experience 2 times. It was when I was doing my second year, and this year, my third year. So I went to a school located in Guamashu, K section. The name of the school is Zulu Comprehensive High School. So basically, I'll first describe the school. So the school, when I firstly saw the school, I saw the school it was not in a good condition to be used in learning. So doors were broken. Some classes didn't even have doors. Windows were broken, and all the butlers, some class had butler cards and others didn't have butler cards. So when it was cold, learners would not focus more on what is being taught, but they will focus on the weather outside. I would make an example. So when there was this other time, it was raining, and I as a teacher, I was feeling cold. So then there are some other aspects that I've noticed about this school. This school had learners learning in barriers. With barriers. So, but what I was not sure about is that I didn't see any teacher trained and hired to teach learners that had barriers in learning. To put that to summarize that, I would like to say inclusive education was not practiced in that school, but it has learners which are having barriers in learning. So there was this other day, it was my second week of my teaching practice. So I went to grade 10D, which was the class I was teaching English. So I was doing orals, so they had to come and present, then I have to assess them. So there was this one learner. I called out his name and said he must come forward to present. He said he doesn't want to. So I called maybe about 5 or 6 times until I went to him and asked him, why didn't you want to present? Because these are your marks. You finally have marks. So there was this other girl sitting next to the boy. She told me that this learner is a special case learner. So in that, I'm highlighting that it was the learner that had barriers in learning. So inclusive education was there at Zulu High School, but there were no teacher specifically hired for that particular job. So I think I'm finished with the first part, so I'll move to the second part. So I was doing, in grade 9, I was teaching 2 classes. There were many classes, I think about 4 grade 9 classes. So I had to teach 2 of them because we were 2 student teachers which were doing history and supposed to teach in those 4 classes. So we split the classes into 2. So I had to teach grade 9 A and B. So we were doing the topic of apartheid South Africa. So I used 3 approaches, I guess. I firstly used the teacher-centered approach, which is where I explained what is apartheid, what do we mean by apartheid, and apartheid laws, who started apartheid, who fought against the laws of apartheid. So I mentioned a few in the names of Nelson Mandela and some other guys. So fortunately enough, I based the apartheid to the name of Nelson Mandela more because he was imprisoned for 27 years. So my focus was on Nelson Mandela. So I taught them, I discussed everything they needed to know. I gave them notes, and I went to my second approach. So it was the learner-centered approach. So the learner-centered approach, it's whereby they would come in front to present what I have already taught them. So I did that, and they did exceptionally well. And what I did next is that I used the third approach, which is class discussion. So we would discuss if there are learners which were left behind. So I would group them and make them present using the learner-centered approach. I would make them present the apartheid South Africa in the 1980s. So there were learners which I grouped but did not want to be part and parcel of those class discussions. So I called those learners. Even in grade 9, they were learners learning with barriers. So I don't know why the school does not hire teachers which are trained and fit to teach learners learning with barriers. I also did I also did some extra classes in grade 12 and grade 11 in mathematical literacy. So there was a teacher who asked that I know mathematical literacy, and I said yes, and I said I can teach. I went with him to his class, and firstly I observed and noted what they were learning by that time. And the following day I had to come to his class. I taught them mathematical literacy, and I went to grade 12. They even said I should host extra classes. So I said basically I couldn't, because I'm a student. I need to attend classes when I've returned to campus and all the stuff.